If you ran at the Division I level, sprinted a 4.15 40-yard dash in front of 70,000 people, and was stated to be one of the fastest people in the world, what would you do to keep getting faster? Well, this actually happened to Kalen Walker, the 60 to 100 meter sprinter at Iowa University, and in this video, I will show you what makes him so fast. After working with over 1,300 athletes to increase their sprint speed, I will break down what sets Kalen Walker apart and how you can apply these qualities to your own training to get faster. First, let's break down Kalen Walker's technique, which is a masterclass in acceleration mechanics. First is a big horizontal push. Kalen generates a strong horizontal force paired with a precise foot plant under his center of mass. This creates maximum propulsion in the forward direction. Second is a fast swing leg recovery. As soon as the foot touches the ground, his swing leg is already caught up with the stance leg. While this is most often seen in max velocity, elite accelerators like Kalen Walker can make this happen in both phases and make it look seamless. Number 3 is excessive shin drop. Not every athlete needs shin angles as low as his, but this allows him to achieve a deeper horizontal push. His shins gradually rise from horizontal to diagonal, perfectly matching his torso angle as he accelerates. Number 4 is low heel recovery. He doesn't rely on toe drag, which is more of a byproduct of good projection angles. Instead, he keeps his heels close to the ground to reduce air time, which is a crucial factor for acceleration. Number 5 is torque production. Kalen uses powerful arm action and torso lateralization to balance the longer ground contact times in acceleration. This comes down to the timing of foot pronation paired with hip extension. Number 6, which might be the most important, is slightly incomplete triple extension. Kalen Walker specifically avoids overstriding and overextending the hip, which creates lumbar extension. If you made this far in the video, please click subscribe and click the bell notification. And one very specific thing I want to highlight is his strides. He takes a very specific approach to sprinting that goes against most common advice that you will see online. 22 steps to run his 4.1 second 40-yard dash, and 6.5 steps in the first 10 yards. This is a high stride frequency style. There's obviously a ton of reasons and ways he makes this work that I'll explain in this video, but the main aspect you need to remember is thigh angular velocity, which is the velocity or speed at which the thigh travels throughout the gait cycle. And most research shows that elite sprinters have better thigh angular velocity than the average sprinter and athlete. But the problem is, most technique in the world won't help you if you're missing this next key element. Kalen Walker stands at 5'8" and weighs 150 pounds. His squat is impressive at 405 pounds, and his hankling is 275 pounds, putting him at the gold standard of 2 times his body weight for relative strength. This matters because most research shows that for optimal sprinting, athletes need strength levels between 1.5 to 2 times their body weight. Here are the relative strength lifts and rate of force development exercises that he uses to help improve his speed. For the relative strength lifts, he does stuff like back squats, power cleans, rear foot elevated split squats, split stance hinges, and overcoming isometrics. For these type of exercises, we want to do low reps and low to medium sets. So around 2 to 6 sets of 2 to 6 reps for high intent, so around 60 to 85% 1 rep max, but usually falling in the 75% 1 rep max will do the trick for you. For the rate of force development exercises, we have rocket jumps, loaded jumps, lunge jumps, and seated box squat jumps. For my athletes on the Speed Academy who ran times like this, I like to do these exercises for rate of force development and relative strength. I often program step-up jumps, resisted jumps, rear foot elevated split squat jumps, and overcoming isometrics to target rate of force development. You can also do the relative strength exercises I mentioned earlier at lighter loads of 1 rep max. Instead of doing a heavy back squat at 75% 1 rep max, you could do the same exercise but do 40 to 60% of your 1 rep max and just lift the weight faster with high intent. Most research will show that 40 to 60% of 1 rep max will be optimal to develop power in the weight room. If you want my 7 favorite exercises for speed, I will give you a free email for 7 days straight, giving you my favorite exercises, reps and sets, and how to program them. Just click the link in the description below and it's completely free. But even with all the relative strength and rate of force development in the world, if this one number is too high, none of this training will matter. Excess weight, especially fat, will slow you down dramatically. Studies show that for every 3.4 pounds of fat gained, an athlete adds 2.4 seconds to their time. Kalen Walker's body composition is dialed in, sitting somewhere between 8 to 12% body fat. This is optimal for sprinters and speed-dominant athletes. Now, he obviously doesn't have any tips on body composition, but I'll give you what you need for nutrition and training to make sure your body composition dials in. First, aim for small calorie deficits. The second key is prioritizing high protein diet. The third key is to keep carbs for fuel, but reduce on processed foods. But even with great body composition, it all comes down to the next factor if you want to sprint at elite level like Kalen Walker has achieved. Kalen Walker's ground contact times are elite. During acceleration, his times are between 0.5 to 0.2 seconds. And in max velocity, it's well under 0.15 seconds. These fast ground contact times are key for storing and releasing elastic energy in the tendons. He achieves these ground contact times because he has high reactive strength and stiffness in the ankle, knee, and hip. His go-to exercises that improve reactive strength are def jumps, pogo jumps, max effort sprints, and isometric circuits. For my athletes who have broken sub 11 in the 100 meter, I often program exercises such as resisted pogos, bounds, and flying 10 sprints. For stuff like resisted pogos and def jumps, I do around the 2 to 4 sets of 2 to 6 rep range for max height and stiffness on the ground. You want to do 2 to 6 sets of max effort bounds for 1 to 20 yards, or flying 10s, which is just a buildup for 10 to 30 yards, then a max effort sprint for 10 yards. However, training ground contact times is a complex topic and requires a huge focus on stiffness. Without this, you'll struggle to become a faster athlete. So to dive deeper on how to train ankle stiffness for speed, watch this video right here. If you want to transform your sprint speed and have a chance to compete with someone like Kalen Walker one day, then the Speed Academy is the best online sprint program to transform your sprint speed. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment to join today.